Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest for a moment. When it comes to closeness, everyone talks about chemistry, about spark, about that invisible pull between two people. But very few talk about rhythm, the unspoken language that turns something ordinary into something unforgettable. Tonight, I want to take you somewhere slower, somewhere quieter, a space where time seems to stretch and every breath carries weight. Because what really changes everything isn't skill alone, it's the way you show up inside the moment. Presence. That's where it begins. Presence is more than attention, it's a kind of gravity. It's the silence between heartbeats when two worlds align. When you are truly there, distractions melt away. You stop thinking about what comes next and start listening to the air, to the breathing, to the pulse that rises like a tide between you. Presence is the art of noticing the flicker in the eyes. The way the air shifts when anticipation grows, the subtle tremor of being seen. It's not perfection that holds someone. It's the feeling that you are nowhere else but here. When you are present, every detail becomes amplified. A single movement feels like a symphony, a glance feels like a confession. The world fades until there is only this shared stillness. Too many rush through connection as though it were a race. But presence slows the clock. It builds a rhythm that isn't about speed or performance. It's about surrender. It tells the other person, you are safe here. You are the only one in the room. That kind of attention is intoxicating. It doesn't demand, it invites. It doesn't take, it receives. And from that stillness grows something rarer, the art of anticipation. Anticipation is the heartbeat of desire. It's the pause before a storm, the breath before a word. The longer you linger in that silence, the louder the heart becomes. The world today moves too fast. People scroll, swipe, skip to the next scene before the story even begins. But real connection blooms in the spaces in between. The slower you move, the deeper everything sinks in. Imagine a moment stretched thin like silk, the space between touch and contact where the air itself seems to shimmer. That's anticipation. It's what turns curiosity into hunger. The waiting, the hovering, the almost, but not yet, creates a kind of music that echoes through the body. Anticipation is patience dressed as power. It shows control not through dominance, but through restraint. It says, I could, but I choose to wait. That waiting builds tension, and tension becomes fire. The beauty of anticipation lies in variation. Light and shadow, movement and stillness, whisper and silence. It's never predictable. Each shift keeps the other guessing. Each pause a question left hanging in the air. That unpredictability fuels desire, not because it withholds, but because it makes discovery endless. The more you learn to savor the build up, the more powerful the connection becomes. But anticipation alone isn't enough. What transforms it into something unforgettable is attention to detail. Details are where devotion hides. They are the fingerprints of care, the way you notice a breath catch, a shoulder relax, the way you adjust when the rhythm changes. Attention is intimacy. It says, I see you even when you don't speak. Every person moves with a different rhythm. It carries a different melody. To pay attention is to learn that song by heart. It could be the flick of a smile, the shift of a heartbeat, or the way silence fills the room when words are no longer needed. These are the signals that guide you. Miss them and the moment slips away. Catch them and the world bends closer. Attention also shapes the environment. The room, the scent, the softness of light, all these details become part of the story. A hand lingering half a second longer, a breath drawn just before laughter, a look that holds rather than glances. Small things, but they change everything. Mastery isn't in doing more, it's in doing less with purpose. It's refinement, not repetition. Each movement, each pause, it becomes deliberate, sculpted, alive. Then comes confidence, the invisible current beneath everything. Confidence isn't loud, it doesn't shout or demand, it hums quietly under the surface. It's the calm in your breath, the steadiness in your gaze, the ease in your body that tells the other person you are safe here, you can let go. Confidence is the bridge between thought and action. Without it, even beauty trembles. With it, the simplest gesture becomes poetry. It's not arrogance, not conquest. It's the quiet knowing that you belong inside the moment. Confidence is presence without fear. It's the ability to guide and listen at once. The world mistakes confidence for dominance. But true confidence is gentler. It doesn't rush. It moves like water, steady, adaptable, finding its path without force. It knows that connection can't be commanded. It must be invited. Confidence lets you breathe through uncertainty. It trusts your instincts and move with rhythm instead of rigidity. It's what turns hesitation into harmony. When confidence meets awareness, connection begins. Connection is the thread that ties everything together. It's what transforms closeness from a fleeting spark into a living flame. Connection isn't something you do. It's something that happens when you're willing to be seen. When you drop the masks and meet someone as you are. Connection is presence amplified. It's the moment when two people stop performing and start existing together. You can feel it in silence, in the way eyes meet and refuse to look away, in the way energy hums between breaths. Connection is not control. It's surrender, mutual and unspoken. It's the realization that pleasure is not about taking, but about merging. About creating a space where both dissolve into one shared rhythm. True connection extends beyond the moment. It begins long before and lingers long after. It's in the kindness you offer outside the room, the respect you show in conversation, the laughter that fills the spaces where tension used to live. Connection is consistency of care, not bursts of performance. When someone feels seen and valued beyond the surface, they carry that feeling into every interaction. And that brings us to the quiet heart of it all. Consistency. Anyone can create a spark once. Anyone can ignite a fire in the beginning. But what defines you, what makes you unforgettable, is the ability to return with the same energy, the same presence, again and again. Consistency is devotion disguised as discipline. It's showing up with focus even when the newness fades. Bringing the same warmth, the same attention, the same curiosity as if it were the first time. It's refusing to let the sacred become routine. The world is full of noise and distraction. But the one who stays consistent becomes an anchor, a place of safety amid the chaos. Consistency doesn't mean repeating the same pattern. It means bringing the same care to every moment, adapting, evolving, listening. It's the steady pulse that tells someone they can trust the experience, that they don't need to wonder if you'll drift away. That reliability becomes magnetic because it builds something deeper than desire. It builds faith. And faith allows surrender. It allows both people to fall into the experience fully without holding back, without guarding their edges. Consistency is love made visible, action made rhythm. It tells the other person, I will meet you here every time. With the same fire, the same respect, the same hunger to understand you. Over time, consistency becomes memory. It weaves moments together until they no longer stand alone. What once was a single spark becomes a constellation, a map of all the times presence met patience, attention met confidence, connection met trust. And that constellation glows long after the lights fade. In the end, intimacy isn't a trick. It's not something to perform or perfect. It's an art of awareness, of slowing down enough to feel what's real. Presence invites anticipation. Anticipation sharpens attention. Attention blooms into confidence. Confidence opens connection. And connection carried with consistency becomes devotion. That's the secret most never talk about. Not a technique, not a secret motion or a learned formula, but a way of being, a rhythm that turns the ordinary sacred, a way of moving through the world that says, I am here, I see you, I feel you. And in this moment, there is nowhere else I'd rather be. Because when you bring that energy into closeness, when you treat every encounter as art, every breath as brushstroke, every pause as poetry, you stop chasing satisfaction and start creating meaning. You stop performing and start belonging. And that is what leaves someone breathless, not just for a night, but for a lifetime. Intimacy isn't about the act itself, it's about the echo it leaves behind. It's the warmth that lingers in the air, the memory that hums beneath the skin long after the moment has passed. When presence, anticipation, attention, confidence, connection, and consistency merge, they create something that transcends time, a masterpiece written in silence, felt in heartbeat, remembered in soul. So slow down, breathe, let every movement mean something, let every glance be a promise. The world will keep rushing, but you don't have to. Stand still in the storm and listen to the breath, the heartbeat, the hush between words. That's where truth lives. That's where the real story begins. And when you learn to move through life that way, with awareness, patience, and quiet confidence, you'll find that intimacy no longer needs instruction. It becomes instinct. It becomes language. It becomes you. When the lights dim and the noise fades, what remains isn't the technique or the moment or the motion. What remains is how you made someone feel seen, valued, safe, desired. That's the kind of memory that doesn't fade. It lingers in the body like the last note of a song, soft but unending. Presence, patience, detail, confidence, connection, consistency, 6 quiet instruments playing in harmony, composing a melody that only 2 people can hear. Learn to play them not with your hands, but with your heart. And every moment you create will become timeless. That is the real secret. When everything grows quiet afterward, when the room has gone still and the light has softened against the walls, that's when the real weight of the moment settles in. It isn't the movement or the sound that lingers, it's the echo of attention, the feeling that for a brief slice of time, nothing else existed except awareness itself. The body remembers it differently than the mind. The body keeps it as warmth, as a pulse that hums beneath ordinary days. That is the secret most people overlook. Presence leaves a scent, an imprint. It colors how the world feels afterward. The taste of coffee in the morning, the sound of rain against glass, each small detail seems brighter because you have been reminded what it means to truly notice. That's the quiet magic of connection. It teaches you how to be alive in every other part of your life. And maybe that's why some moments never leave us. Not because of what happened, but because of how deeply we felt while it was happening. The memory becomes a place you can return to. You close your eyes and there it is again, the air thick with silence, the shared breath, the steady heartbeat. It isn't fantasy. It's proof that you can still be moved, still be seen, still be capable of feeling everything. In that way, intimacy becomes a teacher. It shows you that strength doesn't come from control, but from surrender. From the courage to let the moment shape you. Every time you allow yourself to slow down, to listen, to sense instead of plan, you learn something about yourself. You learn that depth is not found in grand gestures, but in subtlety, in the way light grazes skin, it in the way two voices fall into rhythm in the pause between laughter and silence. The more you carry that awareness, the more you begin to see it everywhere. Presence is not just for the moments of closeness, it belongs in the rest of your life too. It, when you speak to someone, when you work, when you walk through the noise of the city, the same quiet focus transforms everything. It turns routine into ritual. It turns time into texture. Because what this kind of connection really asks of you is honesty. It not performance, not perfection, but honesty, the willingness to admit this is who I am right now. The willingness to look at another person and say, I see you. In that exchange, something shifts, the walls fall away. And what remains is pure simplicity, two people breathing the same air, trusting that the silence between them will hold. If you have ever experienced that kind of stillness, you know how rare it is. You know how it changes you. It makes you crave less noise, fewer distractions, fewer masks. It makes you hunger for meaning, for slowness, for truth. And when you begin to live that way, when presence becomes your default, you start to draw people who feel the same. They notice your calm, your steadiness, your focus, and they are drawn to it, not because it's loud, but because it's real. That is the quiet power of consistency. It doesn't shout, it doesn't need to. It simply keeps showing up day after day, moment after moment. Consistency is how devotion looks in practice. It's not about repeating the same gestures. It's about bringing the same sincerity each time. It's about remembering that every encounter, every conversation, every exchange of eyes and words is another chance to build trust. Over time, consistency becomes a kind of music. It hums through the days. It tells the people in your life, you can depend on me. I will not vanish when the world becomes heavy. That steadiness is rare, and rare things have gravity. And perhaps that's what intimacy truly is, not a single act, not a hidden technique, but a way of carrying yourself through the world. It's a quiet promise to keep showing up with patience and care, whether the moment is electric or ordinary. It's learning to see beauty in the repetition, in the small details that never stop changing. The light that falls differently each morning, the heartbeat that answers yours a fraction of a second later. When you live this way, you begin to understand that the most powerful form of closeness is not about possession or performance. It's about recognition. You begin to recognize yourself in someone else's stillness and them in yours. You see that what connects us all is not desire alone, but the shared wish to be understood without having to explain. That kind of recognition can feel holy. It doesn't demand, it invites. It doesn't cling, it expands. It fills a room without taking space. And when you touch that level of awareness, even briefly, the world never looks the same again. You start to move through it softer, slower, more awake. Maybe that is the lesson hiding behind all the noise. That the most unforgettable experiences are not born from what you do, but from how deeply you pay attention while doing it. It's the same truth whether you are holding someone, writing a letter, or simply standing still at sunset. Presence turns ordinary time into eternity. So let this be the reminder: slow down, feel the air on your skin, listen to the hum beneath the silence. When you look at someone, really look. When you speak, speak as if your words will echo. When you listen, do it with your whole body. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more awareness. And when you bring that awareness into your moments of closeness, you don't just create pleasure. You create meaning. You don't just touch another person. You reach the part of them that's been waiting to be seen. That is the kind of moment that doesn't fade, the kind that shapes the way someone remembers you. It because long after everything else is gone, long after the room grows quiet again, the heart keeps the memory of how it was treated. It remembers gentleness, it remembers attention, it remembers truth. And in a world that so often forgets how to feel, it being remembered for how you made someone feel is the rarest art of all.